metrics level, so many people are spending so much money on marketing in an attempt to think, all right, well, 50% of my marketing is working. I just don't know which half. It's that classic like cliche or quote. And it's just like, you might have a great number of leads. Like maybe you're spending $10,000 a month and getting, I don't know, 10,000 leads, say. Maybe 80% of those leads are coming, just to use Facebook and Google ads as two examples. Maybe 80% of the leads are coming from Facebook ads and only 20% are coming from Google, for example, from the paid side of things. But maybe 80% of your revenue is coming from Google versus 20% from Facebook, and maybe it's in reverse. But where it comes unstuck for most businesses is they don't have that level of attribution from revenue back to marketing, and from revenue in terms of size of revenue, in terms of what exactly they're purchasing, back through the channel they came through, in addition to some of these qualifiers or ways of segmenting. And I see that as a really distinct way of on a metric level. We want to see that. We want to know, like, that's just another layer beneath of saying, all right, well, these are the sales we're getting. And it's the insight. Ultimately, it's the insight to say, who's our client? How do we know them more on an objective level using the data we've got, so that we understand them to an even greater degree and can refine our marketing, can refine the way we're approaching them and conversing with them on a sales level. And yeah, I don't know if I really answered your question, but they're just some of the key points on a metric level. It's like, what's the revenue attribution for this channel of marketing versus this channel of marketing? And then the conversions across each step in the process. At a high level.
You've actually just reminded me of two things. A conversation that I actually had with somebody only last week, his business partner, who are of my vintage. Unfortunately refer to their marketing department as the colouring in department.
Okay.
Their disdain for marketing is unfortunate.
Sure.
But probably the more important thing to kind of take away from what you've just said is, again, it's one of those somewhat cliched terms, but I think it's even more true today because it's more possible today. And that is, if you can't measure it, you cannot manage it.
100%. Yeah.
And, for me, in the recruitment side of the game, same deal, and conscious of our time. So we might kind of use this as a bit of our kind of wrap up.
Perfect.
For me, recruitment today is much, much more about measuring, rather than relying on good old-fashioned gut feel.
Love it. Yeah.
Science is absolutely proving today that gut feel is wrong.
Yes. And gut feel is ultimately you stuck in business. It's relying on your gut feel. You can't sell that. You can't, if you want to exit the business at some point, you can't scale gut feel either. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, whether it's in recruitment, whether it's in the sales kind of system, sales operations side of the business, either way, it's the metrics, because that gives you scalability, that gives you objective data and insight, that gives you a way to measure what happened, to then go back to what you did in the first place and reassess, readjust, reposition, re-strategize around what needs to happen moving forward. And it sounds so simple, but at the end of the day, the more you can do something, measure it, assess the result, and then readjust, it's such an incredibly simple model that everyone has heard, but everyone's kind of gets further and further from that in the chaos of business. And the more you can come back to that and having the right infrastructure, the right approaches on the recruitment side, that to me is where the magic happens.
Fantastic. So there you have it, folks, from Cullen and I. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. If you can't manage it, you can't scale it.
100%. Love it, James. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, mate. Been great chatting with you. Hopefully we'll do this again sometime soon, yeah?
Perfect.
Alrighty.